Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. I've got a black magic woman. Got me so.
Hey guys, it's Charlie and you are watching Wednesdays on our Pagan Opinions, and this week we're talking about Esbats, and I'm going to try to make this video short again because last week it went pretty smoothly with the whole upload process. It didn't take forever. This week we have a question from Stargirl13, and the question is on the Esbats. What do we do to honor the moon? What do the Esbats mean to us? Do we set up altars inside or outside and do rituals? What's my favorite Esbat ritual? And do I think it's absolutely necessary to honor each moon each month? Okay, so what do I do to honor the moon? I don't think that it's not specific just to Esbats. Like, I think honoring the moon is something that can be done throughout the entire month. But what do I do to honor the moon? Working with lunar energies. I don't specifically leave offerings for the moon because I don't like worship or honor the moon as a deity. I view it as a representation. I don't view it as literally being goddess. So I don't like leave offerings or anything like that if that is what the question is implying. But just observing and appreciating and sitting and like feeling the energies and being with the moon and kind of paying attention to how different moon phases affect me differently as well as other people. What I do to honor is just kind of simply noting the energies and kind of observing the moon, like looking up at the moon and paying attention to how all of that affects, like how the moon and the magnetic pull of the moon affects life on Earth and things like that. But as far as like anything to do with offerings or anything, I don't do any of that personally. What do they mean to me? Another month has gone by. The Esbats to me, being a woman, it's very much because I cycle, and I cycle actually every 26 days. I'm sorry, TMI out there for some of you guys, I know. But I cycle every 26 days, so it doesn't sync up all the time. But for me, just moon phases in general, it doesn't have to be an Esbat, whether it's new moon or full moon, just moon phases in general. It makes me more in touch with my femininity and my own cycles, and paying more attention to cycles in nature, just because there's that constant cycle that happens with the moon. So other than that, they don't really mean anything extremely significant to me in my practice other than just cycles of nature and appreciating what those cycles are symbolic of. Do I set up altars inside or outside and do rituals? Well, I have a permanent altar indoors. I don't set up altars outdoors because, for one, I've got neighbors and I don't want them seeing me out on my patio like doing ritual. But two, if I'm doing an outdoor ritual, I'm generally going out into nature to be with nature, and I'm not going to be bringing with me a bunch of tools. I'm going out to use what I find in nature. So if I set up an altar, I don't really set up the altar. I just sort of go out and I surround myself in nature as nature has presented itself to me. So sometimes I might come across like a rock where maybe hikers have gone by and positioned things, and I might use that as a makeshift altar, but I don't specifically go out with the intention of setting up an altar. I go out with the intention of being with nature. What's my favorite Esbat ritual? I don't really have a favorite Esbat ritual. I actually rarely have elaborate Esbat rituals. I think I can probably count on two hands how many I've done throughout my practice. But for me, they're very much not like, when you think of a ritual, it's not like that at all. For me, it's something as simple as, and I know I've mentioned this on videos on my channel before, I think, simple as going out and having a cigarette and just watching the moon and observing the moon and being with the moon, and going outside and laying in a field with just the moonlight, or with no moonlight if it's the new moon. So I don't have a favorite Esbat ritual because for me they're not necessarily like full out like rituals. They're just, I don't know, moments of peace, I guess. And do I think it's absolutely necessary to honor each moon each month? Absolutely not. Absolutely 100% not necessary. The reason I say that is because, well, for one reason, I'm a big believer in similar to what I have to think about this, Kara, because on the pagan perspective there's Kara. So now I have to like consciously change how I say it. So Kara, similar to what she said about how sometimes you're just not in the mood to do any sort of ritual, and that's totally cool. I'll never force myself to be in a mood. If the mood arises and the urge arises, then I will, but I never force myself to do a ritual, because to me that takes a little bit of it away. It's sort of like when you're celebrating like all the major holidays around winter time. Like, I think everybody out there can relate to me. When November comes up, like right after Halloween, and you know November's coming up and you're gonna have like, bam, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all right in a row, everyone's really excited about it. But by the time you get to Thanksgiving, and depending on if you're married and you have to spend Thanksgiving with the in-laws and your family, or if you have parents who are divorced and you have to celebrate with multiple families, you celebrate. For us, we celebrate like Thanksgiving like 3 different times, and then we gotta do stuff for Christmas, and we do stuff for Christmas 3 different times, and it's also my brother's birthday in December, so we have to celebrate my brother's birthday. And then by the time New Year's comes, it's just like such a relief, like, oh my God, the holidays are over. And for me, I never want to ever view any of the Sabbats or the Esbats with such like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad it's over. So I don't put that stress on myself. I think that celebrating other holidays from other faith traditions in society is more of it's an expectation, whereas with this, for me, it's a lot more free-flowing. So if I'm in the mood to celebrate a particular Esbat, I'm in the mood. If I'm in the mood to, you know what, I don't want to observe this new moon, but I'll observe the full moon, or I don't want to observe the full moon, I want to observe the waning moon and really pay attention to the waning moon or the dark moon. It's all about how you feel, and at least for me, it's all about, like, am I called to do something, and just being aware of your own energies and how you're feeling, and how, if you are willing and open to channeling whatever energy you're feeling, whether it's positive or negative, into channeling that energy into something else. And if you're not being called to do it, or it's making you frustrated trying to plan for stuff, then don't do it. It's not necessary. In fact, I think that probably this year there have been more Esbats, new and full, that I have not celebrated than I have. So, and of course I'm talking a little bit more along the lines of like celebrated in a big way. But those are my answers. To me, Esbats, not really anything super significant. For me, it's all more about internally, like what am I feeling internally? What am I being called to do? And that seems to have worked well for me. I think that spontaneous rituals and the rituals where you're really in the moment, a lot of times, because of the energy that's behind them, work out a lot better. So anyway, I'm looking forward to the rest of the videos for this week, and I will talk to all of you soon next week, and I love you, and blessed be.